Hi, this is John with ProCare Services of Mission Viejo. I got called out in San Clemente on a toilet overflow. Apparently, the child used the toilet last night, flushed the toilet, and went to bed, and they woke up and there was water everywhere in the bedroom and part of the family room. Come on in, I'll show you what we're doing. I was here a little earlier, and you can see some of the water still left, but the water came out the garage. So what we did is they had a carpet, an indoor out carpet right over here. So we pulled that up, threw that away, put that in the trash, and sanitized it. And now we're gonna start moving into the house. You can see right here where the water has come out of the house, the water from the toilet overflow. This wall shares common with the bathroom of the bedroom. This wall over here is also wet, and this is a floating floor inside the house, and there's water underneath the floor. We'll come in here. You can feel this smushing around. I'm gonna pull a little piece of carpet up just to show you what we have, what's underneath here. This is the pad, and you can see we've already extracted about 20 gallons, and as you can see, this is pretty wet. So definitely have a lot more water left. Over here, I was going to check this. The water has gone all the way to the other side of the bedroom. Normally we try to dry a house out if it's a fresh water, but with unsanitized water such as a toilet overflow with feces, we throw it away. So, as you can see, it went to the other side also. Prior to doing this, we use a product called Benefect Decom 30, and we saturate the area to hopefully kill as many microbial or coliforms, basically sewage pathogens, as we can. In here, you can see where the issue was. The plumber has already been here and has unplugged the clog. Is what we classify as a soft blockage. So it wasn't anything really major, it just happened to clog the toilet temporarily, and then the water kept running and then overflowed into the toilet. Excuse me, into the bathroom. You can see this. This is, so we got a lot of water in the house. Over here, I'm gonna take you to the family room. So the water, when they woke up in the morning, the water was out into the family room and has migrated all the way to the wall over here. It's gone through what we call the lower plate, and there's like a little canal between the wood floor and the lower plate, which is 2x4, where all your studs are on top, and it's followed its way all the way around. The water stopped right here on the top of the floor, but when we metered with our moisture meter, the water went all the way to the other side by the slider going outside. It followed the channel all the way around. A lot of times what happens is customers do not understand that the water can get all the way over there because they're not seeing it, but it has migrated all the way to the other side. As you can see, we're just getting started. We put a 1 foot, we call it a flood cut. We chalk the line, we're gonna remove this drywall. Inside this drywall, you have insulation. And so the insulation in here is usually pretty saturated also. Inside the wall, common with the bedroom, most likely there isn't any insulation inside, so we don't have so much to worry about, but definitely need to get it out of this wall, and we need to open this up so we can sanitize and get the sewage out. As you can see, we've isolated the house from the affected side from the non-affected. So what we do is we place a 6mm plastic with zip walls. I'm always bragging about zip walls because they're just such a great product. You can see that they hold the plastic up very tight secure all the way down, so it makes kind of a temporary wall, and it also allows us to create a drying chamber, so that way we're only drying this area and not drying the whole city of San Clemente. So in here, as you can see, the water came out. It's pretty rough. There's a lot of water. We've treated all this with Decon 30 Benefect, which is, I feel, is a great product. It's all natural, it's botanical, it's made out of thyme. Great product for sanitizing and disinfecting the area. This cabinet is going to have to come out. We have shear wall on the other side, so we have a issue trying to dry that area because of the fact that shear wall, then you have drywall, and then you have the cabinet in front of it. So we're going to have to pull this mirror, pull the countertop, and pull this cabinet out so that way we can clean and sanitize behind there. So I'm going to go around with you and show you where the water is, kind of what we do when we do a moisture survey. This is our Trimix moisture meter. It's our go-to tool to figure out where the water is hidden. Over here, you can see where the water has come down, so it's going to be really obvious that there's water in these areas. This area is wet. Over here, I believe we have a little wetness. Yeah, so as you can see, it stops right there. But so what has happened is the water has migrated actually under the floor and come through this wall. Let's go inside and we'll do a couple checks over here. So this is the norm for the house. It's obviously in the green, showing that it's completely dry. So we're going to do a comparative to where it's wet down here. As you can see, it's pretty soaked. Behind the closet, it's pretty soaked. Let's go take a look. This is the wall common with the bathroom. And we're just going to check that. As you can see, it's all pretty darn wet. So sometimes with what we call a category 1 water loss, where it's fresh water, we can open this up, contain the area, and dry it out. But since we're calling this a category 3 because there was feces inside the toilet water when it came out of the toilet, we're going to call it a category 3, which is unpotable water and contaminated. We have to open up the walls and sanitize the studs inside. Come on over here. Over to here. You're not going to be able to see it on the camera, but you're going to be able to hear it. All the way over to here. Maybe we can get a shot of that right there. But you can see it goes, stops right about there, but it's all the way along. So it's pretty wet. So what we're going to do is we are going to cut all this drywall out. We are going to sanitize it and then set up drying equipment. Drying equipment is going to consist of blowers, dehumidification, and some air scrubbers. We're going to use the air scrubbers to capture any pollutants that may be in the air, and especially while we're working inside. So we have removed the drywall from the wall common with the bedroom and the outside. And I wanted to show you what we found. As you can see where the water has migrated up. So it has followed the area between the lower plate, which is the stud, and the wood floor. What makes this interesting is underneath, on top of this, below this wood floor, they have plywood that they have ram set to the concrete. So now we're going to have to remove this plywood that's on top of this concrete, which is going to be a little more extensive. As you can see, the lower plate that I mentioned last time, you can see where the water has, the wood stud has actually absorbed, the water has absorbed into the lower plate. So what has happened is the water has followed all the way along, gone underneath this wood floor, and saturated the plate. That's one of the reasons why we removed the drywall. Underneath this wood floor, you have plywood. You can see the water. The plywood has been ram set to the concrete, and this floor has been laid on top of it. In between the plywood and the wood floor, actually a laminate floor, you have a vapor barrier, so all this is going to have to come out. This may have extended a little further than we first thought, so we may have to remove this containment and push it over. stay tuned and we'll tell you what we got going next.